Hello, my friends. Here today I am making, this is apple butter, and I'm turning it into fruit leather. So these are jars of apple butter I made, not this last fall, but the fall before. I tried my hand at making apple butter. The flavor is wonderful. It tastes delicious, but it's very runny and very liquidy. And I was wanting a jam consistency, so that I could have an apple butter jam for us to use instead of having to buy jam. But it didn't work out. I could have cooked it longer and gotten it thicker, but I didn't realize that, and I had turned it off, and anyways, it was, by the time I realized how runny it was and it wasn't thickening up, I was like, oh, okay, this is just going to be very liquidy. But anyways, and I had talked to my sister-in-law about it, and she was like, hey, why don't you just try turning that into fruit leather? And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll try doing that. So I checked out a few videos on how to make fruit leather and everything. And so this is what I did. I just took my jar. I had bought these silicone mats for my dehydrator a while ago, and so I just poured them into I poured the jars on the silicone mats, spread it out as evenly as possible, and then I stuck them in my dehydrator, and then I turned it on. Oh boy, I think it does say fruit leather on my dehydrator. So I turned it on the fruit leather setting, which I think is like, I think it's like 135. I've heard 115. I don't know. Mine, I'm pretty positive, I have to go look, but I'm pretty positive it's 135 for the temperature. So I just did it on that, and I ended up doing it actually over 24 hours. It was a little longer than 24 hours, but I think that's because it was just so liquidy. There was a lot of liquid. So that's just how it worked for me, but it turned out delicious. We really like it, but it is very sweet because it's a jam. So I think with fruit leather, you don't typically have to sweeten it much because it is fruit. So this is jam, so it had a lot of sugar in it. So it's very sweet. So about like 2-3 squares and you're done. You're maxed out. You've had your sugar fill. But it's delicious. My kids love it. You didn't see, somehow I messed up on my videoing and I missed the clip where it was really cute. The kids kept sticking their hands in and grabbing more to eat. They were loving it. So, and it's a little treat that they are welcome to have. In my opinion, I don't care, whenever they want, because it's not one of those things that you can just eat and eat and eat. It's like, okay, 2 or 3 and you're full. So anyways, they had been dehydrated for a little over 24 hours. I took them, pulled them out, and it was all really nice. You saw me peel it off the sheet, and it was really, it turned out great. The bottom part was a little sticky. And so, so what I would do, here I go. So I just pull it off and I flip it upside down because the top was much drier. So, and then I just cut it up into little squares, and then I placed it on parchment paper. Wax paper would be better. This parchment paper that I happen to have is actually pretty waxy. So, it worked fine. But I'd probably do wax paper in the future. But just cut it up into little squares and use parchment paper in between. But, I love it. And actually it looks really neat. I would have, if I could do it over, I would do it in pint jars, pint wide mouth, jars, because that's all I had was a half-gallon wide mouth, and it's a lot. So my plan is, I vacuum sealed one, the full one I vacuum sealed. And so once that shallower one is empty, see how like it's not full, it's half. Anyway, so once we go through that, that's in my fridge right now. Once we go through that, I will crack into the vacuum sealed one, and I'm going to have quart size mason jars wide mouth, and I'm going to divide it up between them and then vacuum seal those, because that's a much more reasonable amount to have open at a time. And yeah, now honestly, I didn't even like fully watch the videos to know if you can vacuum seal this. I'm hoping this all works out fine, but I know we're going to eat it fast enough that by the time I pop this lid off this other one, I'll be able to kind of gauge and see if it's all good. But I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident it's all going to be good. But anyways, yeah, so that worked out wonderful. So if you have a jam flop of any kind, just turn it into fruit leather. So it was super easy. It just took extra long to dehydrate, but it was super easy, and now it's a really yummy treat that everybody loves. So yeah, that was my apple butter turned into fruit leather. Super easy, and just a fun snack to have on hand that's really easy to grab. And if we're like on a car trip or whatever, it's one of those things that would be easy to take with and to have a little sweet snack. So that's that. I just wanted to show you what I did this week, and I hope you guys all had a wonderful week and a wonderful happy New Year. This is going to come out after New Year's, but hopefully you have a wonderful New Year's. All right, thanks for watching. Bye bye.